Well, hi again, everybody. My name is Greg Anderson, and this is the Good Timekeeping Show with Greg Anderson. So today I want to talk a little bit about the way I collect Casio watches. And some of you have seen a lot of my videos already, and you kind of have an idea of what I'm doing and what drives me here. Others, perhaps this is the first time you've seen my channel, so I'll get into a little bit of detail and get you up to speed here. So I have a lot of Casio watches, and a lot of those are the Casio G-Shock watches. And there are a couple things that really attract me to these Casio watches, two features in particular that I really like, and they are tough solar. So that means there's a solar cell built into the face of the watch, and it charges itself automatically with exposure to just everyday living conditions. So you don't have to change the battery, for I don't know how long, many years. The oldest tough solar watch I have is 15 years old now and still going without ever having to open it up and change a battery after 15 years. Another feature I really like is called Multiband 6 or wave scepter technology. What this means is the watch has a radio receiver built into it, and it will automatically receive time and date information from any one of, if it's multiband 6, it's any one of 6 transmitters in different parts of the world. If it's just a simple wave scepter, some of the older watches, maybe it's specifically made for one part of the world. But if it's multiband 6, see, there's one transmitter with this atomic time information in China. There are 2 in Japan. There's one in the UK and one in Germany, and then the one in the United States that I rely on, WWVB. So some of the older watches maybe were made just to receive their information from WWVB, and those watches would be made to use in the United States. And others, more versatile, that they can be used in different parts of the world and can receive from whichever transmitter they happen to be closest to. So if it's got those features, I really like that, because the accuracy of the atomic time that it receives, this is really impressive to me. Every night, overnight, the watch will automatically check itself and set itself to the right time. And in many cases, when there's daylight saving time coming into the mix, the watch will set itself to the new time when it's time to make that daylight saving time change, either forward or backward. So I love those features. Now, Casio makes tons of watches and many variations often on the same watch. And I have a lot of those. And you might think, well, that doesn't seem like a great idea. Why would you buy a watch that in all other ways is identical, except maybe something about the color is different? Why would you buy a whole new watch just to get a little bit of different color on the face? And I don't quite know how to explain that other than a couple examples. Let's say you've got a favorite jacket, and you really like that jacket, and what if you have to wash that jacket? What about the day that jacket is in the wash? Well, maybe you'll have another one, see, and you can wear the other one. So you've seen me in this jacket a few times. Well, I have 2 of them, so I'm never without the jacket in most situations. Or maybe it's a shirt. Maybe I really like this shirt. It fits me well. I like the fabric. I like everything about it. And so I buy 2 of them when I'm at the store, and I can do the same thing with the shirt. Always have it, even if one's in the wash. Or maybe there's this shirt, but it's available in 5 different colors, and I like it so well, I buy the 5 colors, and I get a little bit of a variety, but I still get the fit and the feel and the style that I like, just with a variety. That makes a little bit of sense to people, that you would have that many duplicates, if you will, of the same clothing. I have 3 pairs of jeans that are exactly the same. They fit the same, and I use them. It makes a little less sense when it's something like, I love the Toyota Camry. And I bought this Toyota Camry and I love it so much, and there are 8 more just like it, exactly like it in every way down at the dealership. I think I'll buy 2 more of them and I'll have 3. Well, do you have, a lot of people driving in your house? No, just me and my wife, and she's got her car, and that's the only one she wants to drive. But I want 3 Camrys. That wouldn't make a lot of sense. It would be very costly. You'd have to keep those cars maintained, licensed, registered, insured. It just doesn't seem like, and the Camry's not a particularly collectible car, so why would you need 3 of them? So you might be thinking that about these watches. Greg, why do you need so many of them if just minor color variations and things? I don't know, it's just a style. And one thing Casio does, though, sometimes with these watches is they might release the same watch, but the digital display, that LCD, maybe has what we call an inverted or a reverse LCD. So what I would consider a normal LCD would be dark characters against a light background. So the reverse LCD would be light characters against a dark background. And some people really like that as a kind of a fashion choice. You know, a very dark watch with a dark face and these numbers that, you know, come up as just a little bit of light characters on all that dark stuff. And the only trouble I have with it is that, practically speaking, if you're going to glance at your watch quickly and glance away, when it's the reverse LCD or the negative LCD, I find that it is more difficult to see the numbers unless you're at just the right angle. If you're a little bit off with a normal LCD, you can still see it okay. But with that reverse LCD, a little bit off, and you're like, oh, wait. So it takes a moment to kind of adjust your wrist so you can see that better. So I do tend to avoid the reverse LCD, even though Casio makes tons of them with different colors and, you know, all the different styles. And I just don't get as many of them, except where I've made the biggest exception there to that is a certain watch, the AWG M100 watch. This is a Casio G-Shock watch. It's analog with some little LCD dials in it, so a little bit of a digital display on some of the features. And I just really like the way that watch looks and feels and functions. There are a couple things I don't necessarily like about it, but overall, I like it so well, and they put out a bunch of different styles on it, and I've bought about a dozen of them so far. So, and you may say, again, why do you need 12 Camrys? Well, they are a little bit different from each other. And so many of the ones I have of that style, they use the reverse LCD in the little digital dials on the face. But I have specifically avoided some of them because they had the reverse LCD, and I thought, I kind of like the other stuff about it, but, you know, I already have some reverse LCD, I don't know. Now, one thing Casio has been doing these last several years is something they call a fire package. This is where they will release two watches that are different models, but they will release them in the same color style, if you will. So even though one might be digital, one might be analog, they have a certain blue color scheme, or a green, or a red, or whatever it happens to be, and it's the Casio Fire Package. Now, I wasn't quite sure why they call it Fire Package, and maybe I would understand it better if I had a better understanding of Japanese culture and language. Maybe this would make sense. Why do they call it Fire Package? Because I know that sometimes Casio will release special limited edition watches in specific colors and styles as part of a collaboration with, for example, a certain fire department in a certain part of Japan or another part of Asia. So as a tribute to the firefighters and the people in that region, they will have a certain special watch that comes out. Sometimes it will be that kind of a collaboration with some sort of charitable organization, like maybe an environmental group, and they'll put out a certain watch that has a special logo on it and has certain colors. And I don't know if proceeds from the sales go, a certain amount of it go to this charity. I don't know. But Casio does a lot of that stuff that maybe we don't see it here in the United States, but in some other markets, you know, you'll see a lot more of that kind of collaboration with special limited edition things. And so I thought when I first heard of Fire Package that maybe it was somehow still extending this idea of releasing these watches as a tribute to first responders or firefighters or something. I'm not sure that's the case. In fact, I reached out to a great resource, gcentral.com, and I asked them about the origins of, Fire Package. Why do they call it that? And they gave me just a little bit of information. We're all still not completely sure if we're not, a little more in tune with the Japanese culture and the language. Maybe it doesn't quite make sense to us, but here is something they told me, Google Translate from Japanese, that with the Fire Package, fire has meanings such as passion and enthusiasm, and it expresses a positive attitude to confront everything, and was named as a symbol of the fireman's spirit, which is the image theme of the G. Also, in later descriptions, it talks about the Fire Package as a series in a special package for those who take on new challenges. So if you're up to the challenge of a new day and facing the future with courage and enthusiasm, maybe the Fire Package watch could be for you. It turns out I have purchased some Fire Package watches, and here's another thing about them. The Fire Package, if you buy it from the official packaging that's available in Japan and some of these Asian areas, The fire package, the box that the watch actually comes in, is meant to look like an old style shipping crate. And so, but it's small enough to be a watch case. So you get this commemorative fire package case when you buy the official fire package watch. Now, I have purchased some fire package watches that didn't come with the case because sometimes maybe after a while, after it's been released and kind of run its course in the market as a fire package watch, these things might be available separately through other channels. I know one of them that I have was at one time available in the United States through warehouse clubs. And if you looked at the model number, the last bit on there, it's got numbers and letters, it might say WC, which was a reference to warehouse clubs. So that may be something that was only available at Sam's Club and Costco and places like that in the United States. And so I have one of those, and it's probably the first watch I bought that turned out to be part of a fire package from 2015. I really like this one. It was my very first analog G-Shock watch, AWG M100 with the green, the green style there, that whole color theme. And so then I found something similar in a GW M500 watch, and so I bought that, and then I later realized they were part of the fire package from the year 2015. So I bought them separately, and now they're together again, as a couple in my collection. Now, also, then I managed to get one from the 2016 fire package collection, and this one, again, for a while there, it was only available kind of, special deal from the overseas market. But then it became available in the United States. And in fact, right now, at the local Walmart store just down the road a ways, they have this same watch. It's not labeled as fire package, and it comes in a very plain container. But this one is available for under $100 at the local Walmart store. And it's really pretty in person. It looks pretty good in pictures, but in person it looks even better. So you might find that at a Walmart store. But at one time, that was an offering in the fire package of the year 2016. Now, 2017, there was kind of a blue and green version of two watches, one being, again, another version of the AWG M100, another a digital watch. I just never got around to getting this, and if I look for them online now, they're a little bit pricey, so I've kind of avoided that. The 2018 package had this orange thing going on and the negative display. So I managed to find one of these, the analog version, and I bought it. It was a really good deal when I bought it, so that's why I have that one. But I don't have the other one because, again, negative display, kind of, I hesitate. Now, for 2019, I really liked the colors that I saw on this one, especially when G Central showed what they looked like. But again, it was the negative display, and I wasn't finding any good deal. I mean, one thing you got to recognize is, yes, I have a lot of Casio watches, and you may think too many, but I do kind of, control myself as far as I'll keep my eye on something and I'll wait for a good deal. So I'm looking everywhere. I'm looking at eBay. I'm looking on Amazon. I'm looking at the local Walmart to see if something's on clearance. I'm always looking to see what's available and maybe who has the best price. And then when a deal pops up, that's when I kind of jump on it. But I try to be patient about that so I don't end up spending a lot of money. I remember, just not long ago, I found this nice watch shop in Salt Lake City, and they deal with a lot of Casio stuff, and they do repairs, and they can help with a lot of difficult to solve problems when it comes to something wrong with your Casio watch. And so they had some watches on display they were selling brand new, and I remember seeing some and thinking, well, that's a pretty watch, and I've seen it online, but it's nice to see it in person. But I know I could find that watch and save $25 from another source. And so, after a while, if you got, 100 watches and you've saved $25 each, that tends to add up. So I am somewhat patient, even though you might think I've overdone it with my collection. So then the next one came around. It was the 2020 fire package. And so I decided to go ahead and jump on that. And I'm expecting that delivery to come any moment now. And I'll show you the watches from the 2020 fire collection that I decided to get. Now for 2020, the fire package collection, there were actually two pairs, so 4 watches altogether. 2 of them with the Multiband 6 and Tough Solar. The other 2, instead of Multiband 6, they have a Bluetooth connection. And so that's another way that you can get the correct time through the app, using your smartphone or tablet or something to connect to the watch. I decided to go with what was kind of familiar, different colors, but still a nice watch. And one thing I really like about the watches that I decided to get from the 2020 Fire Package collection is they have the normal LCD display instead of that negative LCD. Now there are some other watches I just kind of mentioned briefly, you know, because Casio, again, collaborates sometimes to put out certain watches with certain themes with some organizations or businesses they're working with. Sometimes they come up with these themes on their own. So not long ago there was the Adrenaline Red series of watches. We had a bunch of watches with all had kind of the same color scheme, and I bought one of those, not really realizing it was part of a set, but it had some features I liked, so I bought that one. And then there was one that they called their Navy Blue Accent series, and I managed to get one of those, the AWG M100 offering that was a part of that series. So you might find these things, and you know, sometimes because they are unusual colors, some people might charge more for them. I think officially they're all supposed to be kind of the same suggested retail price, but you will find that certain more popular colors will go up in price almost universally, no matter where you shop. Even places like Amazon, the price is all over the place. And some of the more interesting color combinations will cost you more. So anyway, that's just a little bit of what my thinking behind amassing such a big collection of Casio watches. Basically, one thing I think you should know is nobody's giving me these watches, you know, for the sake of me using them on YouTube. It's not like Casio discovered me and said, oh, that guy's doing a lot of Casio watch reviews. Let's give him a lot of watches for free, or maybe we'll loan him watches that he'll send back eventually. That hasn't happened to me with Casio or with any jewelers or anything like that. If I buy a watch, and I show you the watch here on YouTube, it's because it's a watch that I wanted and I wanted to keep. And, you know, I paid for it because I wanted it. So you might think, oh, I wish you'd do a review on this watch that I want or that watch that I want. And I think, well, maybe I will, maybe I won't. But for now, if it's a watch I want, that's the watch I'm going to show you here on this channel. So, yeah, some fun stuff. Lots of colors and combinations out there. Here in the U.S. market, the official Casio market for the U.S., you don't get nearly as much variety as they're offering in some of the international markets. If you go to the official G-Shock store in Tokyo, you're going to see all kinds of different colors and styles and things that you never dreamed of if you were just looking at what they are officially marketing here to the US. So if you're brave enough to do some international shopping, especially through eBay, I've had some really good experiences doing it that way. You may find there's a lot of fun stuff out there. And, you know, shop around, wait for a deal. If you can't wait, you know, just go ahead and buy something. You know, maybe you're thinking, well, if it costs $25 more to get it now instead of waiting for a discount, that doesn't hurt too much. You know, just avoid going out to dinner a couple times and you've got that covered. Or if you want to make a huge collection, you might think $25 is significant if you're going to add up to lots of, you know, dozens and dozens of watches. It's up to you, but have fun with it. And I hope it's fun for you to kind of share with me what I'm showing you. And I will have another video coming soon because I got to show you these watches that are coming up. So that'll be another episode coming right here on the Good Timekeeping Show.